Okay. You just saw the conclusion of the governor's press conference. We've been coordinating with the governor and his team and with the MTA over the last few hours, and you've heard the announcement related to the travel ban. The travel ban in New York City begins at 2:30, so all vehicles that are not emergency vehicles or authorized vehicles or involved in direct urgent service to people need to be off the streets. The NYPD will begin enforcing the travel ban at 2:30 today, and that ban will remain in effect until further notice. Again, exceptions for all official vehicles, emergency vehicles, and vehicles involved in medical and other urgent matters. But all civilian vehicles, all personal vehicles must be off the streets starting at 2:30. So people of New York City have been given warning. If you are out on the streets, get in now. If you came into New York City from elsewhere, leave the city immediately, go back home, get off the streets by 2:30. NYPD, again, you'll hear from Chief O'Neill in a moment, will be enforcing this travel ban consistently. We also want to make some specific points. We know that a lot of restaurants opened around New York City. We know that some Broadway theaters were planning on going on with their regular schedule. I want to strongly urge our friends on Broadway to cancel their performances and send everyone who works in those theaters home. Restaurants should close to the maximum extent possible and send their employees home. The important point to remember is that the people who work in the theater industry, work in the restaurants, have to come in from somewhere. They're going to be left in a very bad situation if they're not sent home now, given that much of the MTA operations are being suspended, given that people have to be off the roads by 2:30. It's time for businesses to shut down and get their employees home right away. Again, the estimates we're hearing put this storm in the 20-inch to 25-inch range, but remember, it could be worse. We have a contingency in effect for up to 30 inches right now. But once we break 20 inches, that would already make this blizzard one of the top 5 worst snowstorms in terms of accumulation in the history of this city. So people have to heed these warnings now and immediately get home. And again, the NYPD will enforce this travel ban starting at 2:30 today. Let me turn to Chief of Department Jimmy O'Neill.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So far we've done over 300 tows, and there's been over 200 accidents in the city. So as of 2:30, if you're out on the road and you don't need to be there, you are committing a violation of the administrative code, and you are subject to arrest. Listen, this is not what we want to do. We have over 500 four-wheel drive vehicles out there. We need our cops to be able to answer calls for service, not lock up people who make bad decisions by staying out on the road. So after 2:30, if you're on the road, you don't need to be there. You are subject to arrest, but it's not what we want to do, but if we have to do it, we will.
Thank you very much, Chief. All right, any questions? Yes.
Let's say there is someone who doesn't really care about other folks on the road and they are out there driving around. I mean, you always have to deal with these kinds of nuts. What do? Do they get arrested? Do they get taken in? Do they get warned? What?
Again, I'll start and pass to the Chief. Dave, let me make this very clear. I think the Chief said it perfectly. We never want to have to arrest someone in this situation, but we will arrest them if needed. So people need to understand, after 2:30, if you're on the roads and you're not in an official capacity or doing something related to life-saving or health, if you're just a civilian out driving, you are subject to arrest. It's as simple as that.
So, Dave, what we're asking people to do is to make good, common-sense decisions. And if you've been out on the road, the conditions are dangerous, conditions are slippery, use your head. If you don't need to be out there driving, go home. All right? We're giving you to 2:30, and after that, you are subject. You're going to be stopped. It's a possibility you might get arrested, and there's a possibility you're going to get your car towed also. So, a lot to lose.
Yep.
Have there been any incidents of price gouging today to know you?
We will check on that situation. To date, I'm not hearing about. We often have had that in the past. It's a very fair question, but I have not heard specific price gouging reports so far, but we'll get back to you as we hear that.
Any idea how long the travel ban will last or when it'll be reassessed?
Right now, the original emergency declaration was for up to midnight. We still believe the brunt of the storm should be over by 9 or 10 p.m. But again, this is an ever-changing situation. Certainly the accumulation has been picking up intensely. As I said, originally we thought no more than 2 inches per hour. Now we're hearing 3 inches per hour at some points. So let's assume at minimum we're going till midnight with the travel ban. We will update further as we see the storm progress. Yes.
What's the word on the subways?
What you heard from the governor, that overland subway lines will be closing down. Obviously, buses, Metro North, all be closing down in near term. He still has, I think, wisely decided to keep the underground subways going as long as possible. And again, we've been in very close coordination with the governor. I've spoken to him several times this morning, and I agree fully with his decision vis-a-vis the state side, and he understands what we want to do here in the city, so we've been highly coordinated. 2:30, travel ban, everyone off the roads, and then MTA will be making additional closures in the near term, but they're trying to keep the underground subway service running as long as possible. Yes?
Staten Island Railway being suspended as well.
I think that is true because it's overground, so it will fit the same pattern as everything else.
Would that mean that ferry service is also going
Let's
to be
talk to
adjusted?
Holly. What's the latest on ferry service?
Yeah, I'm gonna check the latest ridership numbers. As of this morning, we're still at a good number of people running, but we try and coordinate our service with the MTA. So after this, I'm gonna go see. I think we'll try and keep running today as we can, but people will know if you don't have a bus connection, you're gonna have to make a decision about whether you wanna get on the ferry.
Right. So with buses now shutting down, overland trains shutting down shortly, obviously, even when people go on the ferry, there's limited options once they get off. We'll give you an update on that shortly. Yes.
This might be a question for Chief O'Neill. Chief, how many people were arrested the last time that there was a travel ban, and how many people were stopped and not arrested?
Yeah, that was last winter. I think that was last January. The results are very good. We didn't have to lock up anybody. Everybody made great decisions. And that's what we're looking for today.
Right. I have to say, New Yorkers should be very proud of how they handled the last situation. Once a travel ban was announced, people actually did get off the streets. Sanitation Department had an extraordinary opportunity to clear the roads because people honored the travel ban. That's why sanitation did such a great job. Again, many New Yorkers said to me afterwards, even though the storm didn't reach its full potential, they still appreciated that sanitation did what they did and they understood that was related to the travel ban. So I expect the vast majority of New Yorkers to honor the travel ban, but we have to be very blunt about the fact that there will be consequences if people don't. Yes?
What about biking, like delivery guys bringing food to people? Is that something?
It's dangerous to say the least. No one should be biking in this weather. So again, the ban is specifically about vehicular traffic, but let's use common sense. No one should be biking around this weather. It is getting worse and worse out there. It's dangerous. If anyone goes out, even walking, they should limit their time outside. It is a very, very intensifying situation. It's cold. It's very windy. It's another reason why bicyclists should not be out. And it's a ever-changing dynamic. Smartest thing for people to do is, they should have their supplies already because we've been warning them now for several days to stock up. If anyone needs to go out on foot and grab something now, go get it, but hunker down. Delivery people should be off the streets. And let me emphasize, there should be no deliveries when you think about it. No fresh direct, no deliveries by vehicles of any kind that are not absolutely essential. Certainly any bicycles on the street are going to be in harm's way. Any other questions? Yes.
Commissioner Garcia, update us on the plowing numbers in the city, please.
Certainly.
Thank you.
We are still at over 2,500 plows. We have made it through most of the streets in the city of New York once, but let me just say that means that there could now be another 6 inches on top of where we've been. We are continuing to do passes on all of our routes, and we'll stay on them until we are through this situation. But we anticipate that we will be spending most of today, if not Monday, dealing with clearing of streets and then widening out.
Yeah. And these numbers suggest Monday is going to be very tough. So again, we will have more to say about Monday as we get closer, but I want people to start to get in their mind that things may not be back to normal on Monday given the kind of accumulation we're talking about. If we get up to 25 inches, or even especially if we get on towards 30 inches, even the finest sanitation department in the world is going to have a hard time clearing all of that out for Monday. But again, the best thing we can all do is get out of their way. And Catherine, I just want to say that men and women of the sanitation department are doing an amazing job. And I know once they get into this zone where they have to fight a storm, they keep going 24/7. And we want to express our appreciation for that. Last call. Any questions? Okay, we'll update you again as we have more information. Thank you.